So what I want to do is I want to add a role or a policy on this page that gives me access denied unless I supply that policy. And the policy is going to be supplied by an API connector. So let's just write the code for that. So I want to go into programs. Okay, just want to shorten that a second. And I want that one there. I don't need to specify the section. It should just work. Let's just double check that. Yeah, there we go. So then on the home controller, where's the home controller? There. Oh. On this get method, I'm just going to go. As you see, the whole controller is authorized already. I'm just going to do authorize, and then I'm going to do policy equals admin. So now I should get an access denied. On the privacy page. Yep, there you go. Okay, so we've told our application to incorporate a policy called admin, which will be pulled via this extension roles claim. But this claim doesn't currently exist. The only claims that we have are the ones that we set up in our user flow. And these are returned to our application after we log in. I put a breakpoint here so we can see the claims that have been returned. Extension roles doesn't exist. So how do we add additional roles? Well, we can do this by using an API connector. An API connector gives your user flow the ability to call an API or an Azure function, do some additional work, and or return additional claims back to your application. Your API connector can be configured within your user flow. You can select your API connection from here. But first you need to create one. I don't currently have any set up, so let's go and do that. Let's go back to Visual Studio. Let's stop this application. Let's minimize it for now. And let's go and create a new one. And I'm going to create a new project. And an Azure function. Let's call it API connector CH908. Click next. I'm going to have it long-term support isolated. Let's click create. Okay, and I'm just going to create a simple function called policy. Okay, so I need to add a NuGet package there. Okay, I'm going to actually just for now give it anonymous. We can sort out the security later. So let's just run this. Okay, let's open that up. There you go. Okay, so I don't need that one there. That will be for a later video. I just want to return a policy rather than a set of roles. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to publish this up to Azure. Just create a new one. Okay, so that's finished. We'll close that now. Okay, so that's finished publishing up to Azure. So we can go and take a look at it. Where are we? We're here. Let's go home. App services. There we go. So let's run on that one. And I think let me call it policy. I think it's API policy. Yep, there we go. So now I want to copy that. I want to go back to our B2C tenant. I want to create a new API connector. I want to give it a name. Just call it policy. Let's enter the URL. And we just want a basic. Let me just put a. We're going to put a username there and our password. Okay, and then we can save that. So our API connector is connecting to an Azure function. And now we can go to our user flow. And we can say we want it on this one here. We want to say, all right, we want to add our policy API connection. And then we can save that. Okay, so we can now go back to our main application and run it. You may not see it come through. It may even do something strange, but let's just see if it still works. Okay, so we still haven't got our claim back. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to go back to here, and what do we, user attributes, and we have an attribute, and we already have an attribute here called roles. You need to add that. If you don't have it, it needs to match. Where are we? Let's go back here. It needs to match this here. So let's go back. So we already have that. So now we need to go back to our user flow, and under application claims, select roles, and then save it. Okay. And let's go back to our application again. Let's just stop in a sec. Let's run it again. It may not come back immediately. You may have to wait a little bit. Nope, still not there. So let's wait a little while. Okay, so that's finally been returned. It did take a while. I'm not quite sure why, but what I did was I went back to, I closed that, I closed my tenant, went back here to my main tenant, sorry, my main directory, and reopened it again, and for some reason it worked. Okay, it could be that it's because I'm on, you know, my SLA tier or something like that, but it did eventually bring it back. Okay, so this now should work. Okay, so let's sign in. So you can see the claim is there, right? Okay, so let's continue, and then let's click privacy. Right, that doesn't work, and I'll tell you why. Because in my API connector, or the function that supplies the API connector, I've spelt the word admin wrong. So all you need to do is just go back into the original project and just correct it here. Where are we? Let's stop it. So let's put admin and run it. Sign back in. Hit run. And there you go. So now we can access that controller. Okay, that was part one. In part two, we'll be learning how to debug our API connectors locally via a reverse proxy. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care now. Bye bye.